Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Content Creators University. Very excited. We are here again for another awesome episode, and we have an amazing conversation with my special guest. A little bit, we'll be talking more about that. So for the folks that are joining us for the very first time, I want to welcome you to the platform. This is the Content Creators University, and our motto here is create, impact, and innovate. I'm your humble servant, JP, and what I am a global branding expert, right? So what I do is help industries, entities, companies, individuals make a proper impact through high-end visuals so that you can transform the world that we live in today and elevate and, above all, really get more clients, right? More clients and increase your income. That is crucial. And I do that through this show. And every week we have what we call a professor, right? We call them professors because what they do is come onto the platform and share their expertise with us, right? This is a university. So we have another professor backstage today that's about to share with us what it takes to step out in faith. Man, I'm excited. And this is Black History Month celebration right here on the platform. So I am very excited. So if you guys appreciate this type of videos, well, you know what to do. Go ahead and smack that subscribe button, activate the bell icon while you're at it. And of course, stick around for more videos just like this while you do that, right? So before we get started, what we do here is every week we share the news. We have some news that we want to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the news. What's happening in the Content Creators University's world? What are the updates? Stick around right after this.
Yo, it's your boy Jay Dunn. Look, you are on Content Creator University. You finally made it. It's live right now. So stay right here because it's about to be crazy. Let's go.
Well, you guys saw that. I am very excited to talk to you guys about the news. And as you saw, that trailer was all about the Unplug, right? Unplug 2022, which is an amazing experience that you need to be part of, right? I'm excited to be one of the speakers at this in person. Actually, it's a hybrid event. So you have 2 days in person and the third day is virtual. And I'm excited to be part of the speakers there. You have amazing speakers, all the way up to 11 speakers on the flyer, and all professionals in their world, in the things you do. And if you are in the workplace, if you are an HR professional, if you are a business professional, right, you want to come and network, connect at this event. And this is going to be not just having amazing food catered to us like you saw on that commercial, or connecting with other professionals, but also learning from all these amazing speakers that are coming there. Tickets are currently available. You want to go ahead and grab your ticket. And the website, as you know, is unplugconference.com, right? If you're listening to the podcast, it's Unplug, UNPLUG Conference, CONFERENCE.com. Go ahead and get your ticket right now. I'm excited. So Another news that we have going on here, we also have what I've been talking about, and we started this since the beginning of this month, is Black History Month, and the series is called Black Successful Creators, right? Every single week, every Tuesday and Wednesday, we are having amazing Black successful creators onto the platform here. And what they're doing is coming to share their expertise with us as Black creators, right? There's a difference, right? So I'm excited to have them. And we have another successful creator and leader backstage for our conversation today. And what is the agenda? Well, let me show you the agenda that we have right here. And before I talk to you about all the places that we have the show available at, let me go ahead and show you right here. The next upcoming episode is with Sean Woods, and Sean Woods will be here with us tomorrow, right? February 16th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And Sean Woods will be talking to us about how to build a solid clientele. Oh, man. Not just a clientele, but a solid, right? A faithful clientele, right? Those clients that are going to swear by your services, swear by the things you're providing, and not go anywhere else. There's a strategy to the madness. So if you want to learn about that, you want to tune in tomorrow right here on the platform, and that will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow, Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Content Creators University. We also have Rachel Woodson, and for the folks that do not know, Rachel Woodson, she's an international celebrity coach and reality TV of BT Love and Quarantine, and what we're talking about is how to balance life, love, and purpose. Yeah. You got to be able to balance that, especially if you do the things that we do, balancing life, working, having your own business, also being a creator. There's so much to this. You got to be able to balance it and balance it the right way. She's coming here to teach us how to do that. That's what she does for a living, right? She gets paid the big bucks to coach other people, other families, other couples, and different things like that, being able to have this aspect of their life properly set. And we'll be having that conversation on February 22nd, right here on the Content Creators University at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, right? We will also have Lenita Holston. Lenita Holston, she's a student success strategist, and she'll be talking to us about how to build a successful business as a content creator. And she will share with us her background, how she did it herself, and how she has grown from when she started to today. She has an amazing story, and Lenita is actually a friend of mine that I love what she does. I love her walk and her journey and her growth that I've seen ever since she started. And I know a lot of you guys will be benefiting, will be a blessing to a lot of you guys to listen to her story and learn from the amazing things she's doing. For the folks that do not know, she's also an amazing speaker. She speaks on so many stages, and she's an author as well with multiple books. So Lenita is an amazing guest that will be here with us on February 24th, so we can have that conversation. Now, like I was saying earlier, we have LaShawn Davis backstage. And LaShawn Davis, she's the employee relationship expert and the founder of the HR Plug. Now, before I talk about LaShawn and the amazing things we're about to discuss tonight, let me go ahead and also tell you that for the folks that did not know, and if you're watching solely this broadcast right now, well, this podcast is also available in audio, right? And you can access this by going to contentcreatorsuniversity.com. Go ahead and get it on all of your favorite audio podcast platform like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Google Podcasts, and you name it. Go ahead and download it. And one favor I want to ask you whenever you're there, give us a review, right? Let us know in the review if there's any episode that blessed you, or if you're receiving anything positive from our weekly releases. We'll highly appreciate that. And again, the website is contentcreatorsuniversity.com. Now, for the folks that are always asking me, hey, JP, we watch you on Roku. Yes, I am on Roku. For the folks that do not know, you can go ahead and download my Roku TV application. Right now, it's called JP Hightek TV. If you're listening, it's Hightek, Hightek TV. Go ahead and get it. It's 100% free, and enjoy this broadcast in your living room, popping a popcorn, sitting down, chilling. I appreciate you guys watching us right now in your living room on your Roku TV application. All you got to do is use the same solution that I'm using for the folks that are wondering. Well, that solution is called rtnstreams.com. I want to thank RTN Streams for being one of our sponsors on this show. For the folks that do not know, we are sponsored and listener supported. So thank you so much for RTN Streams deciding to sponsor this show. And again, folks, if you know how to use YouTube, if you know how to upload a video to YouTube, social media, you already know how to use this platform. It is vital if you understand the value that you get just by having your company on TV. That's a different conversation for another day, but I can tell you right now, the traffic alone, Roku alone gets more than 50 million new users every single month. And what that does for your company, well, take a second, think about it. Again, the website is rtnstreams.com. Go ahead and check it out. If you would like to have your own Roku TV application and do the same thing that I'm doing here, that's a solution that I'm doing to simulcast and having my broadcast at the same time on YouTube, Facebook, my website, Roku. I also have my Amazon Fire TV application, as a matter of fact, using this same solution. So again, rtnstreams.com. Now, folks, for the folks finally that are willing just to connect with me or book a session to work with me, well, you already know the website is jphightek.com, right? Just go to jphightek.com, go to my booking page. If you want to, elevate your live stream, if you want your videos to look like my live streams the way I'm doing, and you need help, I'll be more than happy to see how me and my team can help you. Or if you're looking to elevate your brand, you want to build that premium brand, that's what we do. We will help you build that premium brand and make an impact and have some serious digital real estate. I want to connect with you. Again, the website is jphightek.com. So now let's go ahead and talk about our guest. Again, like I was saying, her name is LaShawn Davis. LaShawn is somebody that I was humble and excited to work with. And she became a client, and from a client, she became a friend. And LaShawn has a cause, and is all about helping people, right? And whenever you have a heart to help people, there's some things that will come in the way. It's never easy to help people. And she has that heart, and she's been doing it in a excellent way, right? But she has a story. As you know, we all have a story. There's a way to do things, and she decided to step out in faith. And as she decided to step out in faith, of course, is never easy. We're here to learn exactly how did she do it? What does it take to step out in faith? What are the things that we need to think about whenever we decide to truly step out and embrace that vision, that plan, that business, or whatever God has placed in our heart? How should we do it? And how should we stay focused on the journey, stay on that right path, and not let anything derail us? Or how can we keep, that motivation going? Well, we're about to talk about that right after this animation. Stay with me. Right after this, we'll have LaShawn on the platform.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.
Well, that was Martin Luther King Jr. And I love that. I love that segment of when he shares his dream. And we're living the dream today, right? We're living somewhat that dream today. And that's why we're celebrating our excellent Black creators and successful creators and leaders. And without further ado, let me bring LaShawn onto the platform. Hey, LaShawn, how is it going? Thank you so much for accepting our invite. How are you doing today?
I am well, JP. How are you? I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. I am doing great. Thanks so much for agreeing to come onto the platform. Like we always say, you are our professor today. We're about to learn from your story, from your journey, from your expertise, stepping out in faith. But before we do all of that, take a minute, introduce yourself to the folks that are just discovering you for the first time, please.
Sure. I am LaShawn Davis. I am the founder and CEO of the HR Plug. And what our organization is all about is just about workplace advocacy and, helping people find solutions so that they can thrive in the workplace and helping leaders and organizations understand the importance and the value that employees contribute to the workplace so that we can celebrate who they are and all win together. And so that is a hard job, but it's what I do. And today I'll be sharing, the amount of faith that it definitely takes to do when you're walking in your purpose. So super excited to be here and just tell you guys my story and my journey and hopefully inspire somebody to stay in there and walking in their purpose and relying on faith.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, faith is just so many levels of our journeys, and there are different levels of faith, like they say, right?
Yeah.
Depending on what you're going through, depending on how serious it is, there's a certain level of faith that we need to apply in order to be able to, find ourselves on the best side of history, let's say, right? So I am really, really, really excited about that. Before we dive into all this amazing things about your amazing story, we like learning to know our guests a special way in our broadcast. So I got a couple of questions here for you. So let's go ahead and dive into it, right?
Okay.
So first question I want to ask you, LaShawn, is, are you an early bird or a night owl?
Night owl for sure.
Well, I can attest. All right.
Night
Yeah.
owl.
You work late at night. That's me, right? I'm always doing something late at night. So that's why, we connect so well and so easily. I appreciate that. Now, let me ask you this. What would you choose, right? Between taking a sabbatical to visit the world or building your next house on the beach?
Sabbatical to visit the world. For
What?
sure. Yeah. I am from Florida, so beaches don't move me.
Right.
Exploring unseen territory and seeing something new, I think would be more exciting for me.
Well, hey, I can
Yeah.
understand. I love traveling. My wife will tell you, though, that she'd rather build the
On
next
the
house on
beach.
the beach.
My
Because
husband probably too.
right, because we don't have beach here in Tennessee.
Mhm.
And she's from Nashville, Tennessee. We don't have a beach. So she's always talking about that. But me, I want to visit the world, right? I want to travel
Yeah.
around. So again, now number two that we are
Yeah.
both into. So that's
Listen.
amazing, right? Now on a celebration day, LaShawn, will you go if you had to choose one? Will you rather go for chicken or for a beef?
Ah,
Or
neither.
both? Neither. Okay.
I,
Okay.
I I'm seafood. I prefer seafood. But if it's a special occasion, I think, and it's the right place, I'll probably say a steak. Yeah,
All right,
say
all
a steak.
right, all
Yeah.
right. I know somebody called Victor that will appreciate that. So
Yes.
I'll go with the
Yes.
steak myself as
Yeah.
well. So that's nice. Now, very last question in this series. This gets all of our guests every single time, right? Let's
Okay.
see how you react to this question. Would you rather work out at a traditional gym or in a virtual VR headset?
Oh man. Oh, I think I would say, I think I'm gonna say virtual VA headset. I think
Yeah.
it would be, yeah, I think it'll be more exciting because you know how the treadmills have where it looks like you're on the cliff jogging and all of that. It kind of helps it go faster. So I would say that, even though I'm not tech, I definitely do not want to be in a gym with other sweaty people. So I will choose the virtual route.
I know, right? I got my man Jeremy Duncan in the comment section. Hey, Jeremy is the king of the VR. He's known to be the king of the virtual reality,
Yes.
and he's a producer. So I appreciate that you're saying that because he got me into the quest, and ever since I'm into the quest, then I rather, if I were to choose myself, I rather do it in there. It's so fun, right? You don't have to
Yeah.
share anything with anybody, and you can do so much more because it's virtual reality. But believe it or
Yeah.
not, folks, you will feel like you're truly working out. Like
Wow.
you feel that it's amazing. It's amazing. So and like he said in the comment right there, he said headset all
Oh,
day.
okay.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Jeremy. And also, hey, Don Howard, how are you doing, folks? Thanks. We got about 60 people connected right now. If you have any question while we're discussing for our guests, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. We appreciate you being here with us. All right. So, LaShawn, we're about to go ahead and dive into this. And the first thing that I would like to ask you is when you hear Black History Month, what does that make you think of as a Black woman living in America?
Wow, you start with a heavy hitter. You know, as a Black woman in America, who am, I'm moved by history. I can only do and be what I am today because of history. So it's nothing I contain or confine to a month. And I celebrate it every day because the fact that I can have freedom to do some of the things that I want to do is recognizing that it took people to fight for that. And that's what Black history is about. It's about celebrating where we were and
Mm-hmm.
keep continuing to strive and push to where we're trying to be. So it's very important that I recognize Black history every day, especially in America, who used to see Black people as property,
Mm-hmm.
and still in today experience systematic racism, systematic, cultural deficiencies just based off of what we look like. I mean, we still have to honor our history and use it to help us continue moving forward. Black history makes to me also seem like it's done. The work is done and now we're commemorating when we do it in a month. And it's nothing to commemorate because it's still it's still constant. It's still something that we're working and striving towards. So for me, it's nothing to just commemorate once a month a year. It's something that we need to keep reminded of at the forefront of who we are as a country, as a people, and what we do every day. Because without Black history, there would be no traffic lights. There would be no, a lot of the things, no light bulb, no filament, like all of those things wouldn't even exist. So it's nothing that we commemorate once a month. I mean, 1 month a year. It's something that I celebrate every day.
Fantastic. I love that. I love that, right? It's not something to just celebrate once, 1 month out of a year, but every day, because just like you said, right? Black history for me is, the history of our battle, right? Remembering that we are in a fight and every single day is another opportunity to, bring the gap closer, right? To close into the gap, to really make a difference in this world, and to remind ourselves that there are others that died fighting this fight, and we got to pick up where our forefathers left off and keep going, because it's not over. Not sure when it will be, but we just got to keep the faith, which is what we're talking
Yes.
about today. Have faith in a better tomorrow and keep pushing against the grain, right? Which is something that is taking me to my next question. LaShawn is asking you, when we're talking about faith, because that's what we're talking about today,
Mhm.
for you as a woman of God, when
Yes.
you say faith, what does faith means to you?
It's everything because without it, it's impossible to please God. So, unless I am prepared to live my life according to his will and his way, I have to hold on to faith. And it's the existence of my being. It is who I am. I am faith because everything I do is ordained by him. And I have to always remember, especially in this journey, if we talk about the HR plug and the faith, that's aligned to that, it's impossible for me to even fathom how in 3 years we are where we are today. And acknowledging that it's not my doing, it's not by my might or by my power, right, that
Mm-hmm.
I have been
Mm-hmm.
able to get to where I am today. I cannot neglect the reason for my being. And if I want to continue to please the reason of my being and be honorable and honoring to him, the Lord, I have to hold on to faith so that I can continue operating in his will. So that's what it means for me, JP. It's just remembering who I am. It's the DNA of my architect. It's no, there is no me without being in my purpose and being and
Mm-hmm.
doing what I've been called to do. And I cannot do that without faith.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so true, because when we're talking about faith, this has nothing to do with a religion or belief or anything. Because when we understand that in life, faith plays a very deep role in a lot of decisions, that especially
It
when
is.
you're an entrepreneur, right? If you have your own business or there's something you're trying to achieve, and it wasn't there before, and you like we always say, right? A creator, somebody that puts something into existence. So we're about to put something into existence, whether it's a new business, is a new endeavor, is something new that wasn't there before. You're trying to put into existence. Well, it takes that faith
Yes.
to believe first before you can even implement and put it into existence. So especially as us creators here, where every day we're thinking about something new to create, we're thinking about something to put out there that's going to help us achieve our goals, achieve our dreams, then faith is coming in play. Now, people listen to you say, well, for you to get where you are today, you had to step in and embrace that faith. Well,
Yeah.
what exactly is your story, LaShawn?
Yes.
How did you
So,
get here?
by faith. But my story, JP, is interesting because I grew up raised by grandparents and my grandmother, I should say, in a single family household. My mother passed away when I was 5, and my father, is has been incarcerated my whole life, and wasn't a part of my life. So I wasn't really raised from a mindset of go to college, do well. It was more
Mm-hmm.
so graduate high school and get a government job, and you'll be okay, and live at home until you're 50. Like, it's a whole generational gap there. And what I realized is I wanted more for myself than the environment that I was around. I grew up, like I said, in Miami, and in a house that my grandmother bought in 1950, so it was a predominantly Black area. And I knew I wanted more for myself. And so I went to college. I went to a historically Black university. I went to FAMU, Florida A&M,
Oh
a proud
yeah.
graduate. Yeah, from there. And I learned so much about myself. And then it wasn't until I entered the real world that I realized the deficiencies that lie in other Black people. For example, you go to school and you get a job offer. And my first job offer was $35,000 a year. And I remember thinking at that moment, that's a lot of money. I've never fathomed that amount of much money in my life. Like, I grew up, poor. So yes, I accept this $35,000. Yes, I'll take it. And then I felt enslaved to this company, so I wouldn't lose that $35,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to lose my job. I didn't want to, all of this stuff. And so it wasn't until later, JP, that I realized there are so many of us enslaved in the workplace thinking that I have to sell my soul because I need this paycheck, or this is the most amount of money I've ever made in my life. And so I don't want to lose this job. So I know they disrespect me. I know I'm in a hostile work environment. I know that I'm treated like, crap or garbage, but I need this. And I flip the narrative on that, helping people understand, no, they need you. You don't need
Hmm.
this. And you have to learn how to advocate for yourself and speak up and demand what you bring to the table and what you rightfully deserve. So doing that is coming against everything that we know in corporate America. It's coming against everything that we know as a government, because I speak out on things that are, broken in our systematic system of racism, and in ways that keep people of color down. There is so much that our government doesn't do for the workplace. There is so much that organizations and companies don't do for the workplace that I expose. I talk about, and I help people navigate through it, because I recognize everyone can't be an entrepreneur. Everyone can't just quit their job. Everyone isn't doing what they're saying with the great resignation and quitting their jobs and up and leaving, because guess
Hmm.
what? People have
Hmm.
bills, people have student loans, people have debt. And guess what? If
Hmm.
I don't pay my student loans, the government's going to come after me. So I got to stay stuck in this job. So people feel enslaved or trapped because of a system that was created to keep them there and not for them to elevate. It requires space for me to do what I do, because I help people elevate out of a system that was designed to keep them trapped in.
Wow.
And that's what HR Plug is really about.
Wow, that's deep. That's deep. And again, that's one of the reasons why I love what you do, your cause, and that's so true. Here's the thing. You started doing something that quote unquote will be, yeah, people will say is not the norm. And I know it was not easy for you to start a company like this, right? A company that literally goes against the grain, goes against what people are used to, right? The conversation or the way they'll tell you to abide by, and just stick there and have the security and safety that you already have. Don't put your job in jeopardy, or don't put yourself in danger of losing, quote unquote, what you
Mhm.
have. You made it, right? And few people, for some people, they look left and right, and being the minority there, they realize, oh man, not a lot of my brothers, colored people are here. So if I lose this, I mean, it's like I'm doing a disservice to my community.
Mhm.
And here you are starting a business and speaking up, speaking against this type of thing. How did your close circle take it, right? Because we want to learn from that. We want to learn your story. Was it easy? What did people just embrace it in your private circle, or was it a challenge for people? And how did you overcome that?
Yeah, so no, it wasn't easy, because you're fighting a system that is supposed to be untouchable. Who's going to stand up and say, Amazon, you shouldn't be having people work 17 hours a day in a factory when everybody shops on Amazon, right? You risk losing because you're fighting for other people to gain. And people are, watch out for that. You're not going to get clients. It's the corporate contracts that pay, and, this and this and this and that. But let me tell you, Walking in Faith has had every need I've ever had supplied. Clients still come, bills are still paid, and I can't even tell you why, because all I'm doing is operating in my purpose. And I can't be moved by people who haven't lived this story, or who haven't been given the assignment that I've been given. You wouldn't go into a surgery room and tell a doctor how to perform the procedure, right? Because that's not your
Mm-hmm.
calling. That's not your path. Don't come and tell me how to walk my walk that God has clearly ordained and defined for me to do. And I can do it with confidence, because I know no one else is called to do it. So I've realized that there are going to be people who will act as if they're in your circle, and secretly pray for your demise. And
Mm-hmm.
all
Mm-hmm.
of that gets exposed, through the time. And there are also people, though, that have been supportive. My husband has been supportive, for sure. I have friends that have been very supportive in this walk, because it's definitely not easy, JP. Like, let me give you some examples. So, like, one of my
Mm-hmm.
biggest issues right now with our government is the fact that we offer no sick leave. And I think it's absolutely inhumane that people have to make a decision whether I need to come to work so I can get paid to live, and jeopardize my health because I'm sick and I really shouldn't be here. And our country then also shows no kind of value in us as American citizens for that perspective. And we turn around and look in a workplace and wonder why leaders are toxic, why they don't value an employee, why they don't recognize what we're doing to contribute to the organization. It's because our government doesn't recognize what we're contributing to the society. And there is a problem that nobody wants to talk about. And so since we're not going to talk about it, then I'm going to help people work through it. And doing that is dangerous, right? Because so much goes at risk with it. But if that video you played, the Black History Moment video, if Martin Luther King Jr. hadn't have taken the risk that he did, if the Malcolm X's of the world, the Rosa Parks of the world, like, and even the people that we don't even talk about that have
Right.
sacrificed so much for us to sit and be where we are today, we wouldn't have made progress. So I have no problem holding our government accountable, holding these organizations accountable to treating people like people, because that's what God has called me to do. And I cannot put my hope on people to support me through it because they fail you. I have to leave my hope in the hands of the man who designed the strategy and purpose for me. That's how I
Wow,
circumvent the circle.
that is not just noble, but that is, admirable, right? That is amazing that unapologetically you're standing firm on the purpose for which God called you, and you are walking that walk that He's deposited in your hand. Now, a lot of folks, right? A lot of folks will have a desire, will have a dream, will have a purpose, will have that business, that idea, that thing that God has put in their heart, and God has been knocking out the door for years, encouraging them to step out in faith and do it, but they have that fear of, of being attacked, of being boycotted, or of having problems, not being able to succeed in doing that. What type of mindset should a person have in order to be able to actually take that step? Because it's not easy, right?
Yes.
What
It's
was your
not.
motivation? Are you supposed to protect your gates or make sure that you're selective in your circle? Or what did you do? How can somebody actually take that step and go on the walk that God put in their heart?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One thing is when you are walking in faith, you have to anticipate the attack. You are automatically on the defense, okay? And the Lord is your offensive coordinator in a sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I know that I know I'm going to be attacked likely by the enemy after this podcast because I'm giving, credit and reverence and honor to what I'm called to do. So I just anticipate the attacks, and I know that I cannot be moved by what I see in the natural because that's not how faith operates. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot be moved by what I see in the natural, and I have to know undoubtedly that I am walking in what God has called me to walk in. And let me tell you, y'all might be like, "Well, that sounds so difficult." When you go sit in a chair, you do not pick up that chair, turn it upside down, make sure all the legs are tight before you sit
Mm-hmm.
in it. You have all the faith in the world that that chair is going to hold you. You have all the faith in the world that the four tires on your car are going to rotate properly and get you from point A to point B. That same level of faith that you have in inanimate objects is the same level of faith that I have to hold on to when I'm doing what I've been called to do. It's just that simple for me, like it is for you in driving a car. Getting on an airplane, you have faith that that pilot, a man,
Mm-hmm.
is going to
Mm-hmm.
get you safely to your destination. So the fact that people find it hard to believe in, walking and operating in faith because it seems intangible. It's the evidence of what you don't see happening in your life, and we do it every day. We put our faith in so much, so many things that you don't even realize that you're putting your faith in that. Imagine if you put faith in what you're truly gifted in and what you're really called to do. And the way you know that it's your calling or your purpose, and I know you did a show on this, and I know
Mm-hmm.
I think last week, but you
Mm-hmm.
can't dismiss the evidence of the things that affirm that you're moving in the right direction. So if you believe, for example, that you talked about Mr. Jeremy with the virtual reality, and he believes like that's where he's supposed to be doing, that's what he's called to do, to be a voice in this virtual reality space and let people know what what the possibilities are and what you can create. He has to anticipate people are going to be like, man, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to buy
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Nobody's going to put that on their head and believe that they're going to be in these places. Man, sit down. But no, he has to believe, no, this is my calling. So you won't listen. So I'm going to go to the next person and the next person until somebody will. And he has to trust that God is going to continue to download things in him, strategies that no one has ever seen or done that will be unique to him because it's his purpose. When you're operating in faith, you can't dismiss the small wins that happen, those little ideas that generate in your head. That's because you're moving in what you're supposed to be moving in. That's God speaking to you. That's the Holy Spirit moving through you. It's not your own account or your own accord. Start giving recognition to your talent and those ideas that you just go out there and project, because that's what's going to propel or catapult you in your purpose. We can't be worrying about what it looks like you can't care about what people are going to say, because you got to know this is what I'm supposed to do, and it will play out. It will manifest, because I'm the only one who can be this answer and the solution in this space. So when you walk in fear and not faith, you're potentially causing someone else to miss out on their answer or solution. So Jeremy will keep going in this virtual space, and then next thing you know, he's going to have his own virtual space reality world where people are
Mm-hmm.
paying him to be a part of his virtual reality that he created. People are paying him to teach them how to create their own virtual reality space, when just 2 days ago, people were laughing at him. So walking in faith and doing what you were called to do is not being moved or worried about what the world will say. It's staying true to who you are and what your true calling is.
Ooh. I hope my folks that are listening or watching this show are taking note. I mean, because you're dropping so much wisdom, so many gems that is life changing. Because what you're saying is beyond true, right? And I love what you said. Anticipate the attack. I mean, whenever you anticipate the attack, just the same way where we buy our homes or in our houses, we have security system up, or your store, you have cameras up. You're anticipating in case somebody tries to attack you, you are ready. Anticipating doesn't mean you're expecting the attack. It simply means that you're getting ready. The days the attack happens, you can fight. That's simple as that, right? I'm loving what you're saying. I'm loving what you're saying, because what you're saying is so deep. The same way we don't realize that we're putting our trust and we're telling ourselves whenever we see our friends or we're chatting, say, I'll see you tomorrow. My favorite book, which is the Bible, tells us that tomorrow is not promised. So how do you know you're going to wake up tomorrow and see the following day? We don't know, right? But you have faith, hoping, forgetting that it takes that in order to wake up and see another day. And now here you are going to a job, going to a traditional 9 to 5. And here's the deal. They didn't show you evidence that you will be paid at the end of the 2 weeks or at the end of the month. You simply believe and put faith in them that you will be getting the money when payday comes. So here's the deal. Regardless of what we're doing in life, right? When we look at the story of Amazon, Steve Bezos, where Amazon started 100% based on faith, where the whole world was mocking him. It was in his garage and in his house and trying to sell books. And today, what is Amazon, right? Walmart, all the leaders, all the businesses, success. It doesn't matter. Here's the deal. Faith is everywhere.
Everywhere.
It doesn't matter what your belief is. Exactly. It's everywhere. And we have to tap into it. And I'm loving what you're saying, LaShawn, because you clearly just said, I'm going to paraphrase, that fear is the enemy of faith.
Yeah.
Right?
That's it.
False expectation appearing real. That's fear, right? And it's the enemy of faith. So that means that in order, right? Because I just asked you, how exactly should people take the step? So my takeaway from what you just shared is that in order for people to actually take that step is to be fearless.
Yep. And anticipate the attack.
And anticipate the attack. Fantastic.
It's going to happen. We put the security systems on our homes because we're trying to secure our prized possessions, right? We don't want anybody to steal our stuff, what we work hard for. You are a prized possession. You have to anticipate the attack, put your perimeter up, have your circle correct, because people are going to want to come and try to destroy you because they don't, they don't want you to be successful, or they don't want you to thrive, or whatever the reason is. But you got to recognize you are worthy of whatever you're called to do, and no one else can do what you were called to do. As soon as you own that, the faith part comes easy because you're walking in something that is going to come natural for you. So that's what you have to do to be able to really circumvent that fear, is know who you are, know whose you are, know that your job is just your resource, and depend on your source. Okay. And that's how you keep moving, because no man, earthly, fleshly person can control your outcome. You get fired from a job, you get another one, right? It just was your time to move on. That's the other thing about faith. You have to know that every failure is really a success, because it's taught you something that you didn't know before, and it's taught you what not to do again next time. It's exposed that person you thought was your friend. So it wasn't a mistake that you let them in your circle. It just let you know that's not who you need in your circle, right? It just let you know who the type of people not to put in your circle. It gave you, so everything that you comes off as a failure when you're operating in a faith is really a win. It's a strategy to keep you moving and building and growing. Because I can tell you, JP, there are some projects that I've executed that I feel and believe this is what God has called me to do. But am I failing? Because nothing is moving. Things aren't looking like the way they're supposed to be looking. And I didn't expect it to go out this way. People are questioning, should you have done that? Are you supposed to do that? I cannot allow that to sabotage my success, because people will sabotage your success and stop you from manifesting the fullness of your capabilities because you let them get in your ear. So in operating in faith, you got to hold true to who has called you to do what you're doing, and believe in yourself that you're worthy to carry the assignment.
Whew. There you go. There you go, right? Being successful at the assignment that you've been assigned. I'm loving what, Keith is put in the comment, the convos. He said offense, defense from the defense, and the defense offense, the offensive line. Both lines anticipate attack. Whoa. Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
so true.
That's it. That is so true, right?
That is true.
And you just said it. You just said the magic word, success. And which is, I believe, a lot of times what is tricking people, right? Because we have a definition of success that may not align with the creator's definition of our success, right? We think success should look a certain way, and we don't put in play, we don't put on the table and realize that there's a lot of stuff that we're being successful in other aspects of our life simply because we were obedient and did this specific assignment. We're on this assignment and we're just looking at this specific assignment and telling ourselves, oh no, all right, the Lord probably told me to start this business. I've started this business. God put in my heart to start it. Now I am not getting all the clients that this business is supposed to give me. But you're forgetting that ever since you started doing this business, every single aspect of your life is flowing. Maybe you have a different business that is overflowing right here. Maybe you're going to now open multiple doors for that. You're going to hire more employees. Now you are overwhelmed with blessing. You're forgetting that obedience, that obedience of embracing this specific assignment is opening doors. Why? Because you don't see it with your own eyes, the quote unquote success that you're supposed to get out of this. And you're doubting yourself, which is a lot of times make us doubt, the blessing that we're receiving, and make us lose because now we decide to shut the door of the assignment. Now we decide to stop. We're going to take a quick break, LaShawn, and when we come back, I want us to talk about how do we stay on that path? How do we make sure that nothing derails us and takes us off the path? How do we stay rooted and keep walking? That's something I would like us to talk about right after this animation, folks. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here. If you're just joining us, we are here. We've been discussing with LaShawn Davis, and we're talking about what it takes to step out in faith. What does faith actually means? How exactly should we, make the step and really embrace that vision, that plan, that business, that idea, or whatever God put in your heart to do. How do we actually take the step and do it, right? We've been learning quite a several amount of stuff and understanding from LaShawn. She shared that, we need to remember that fear is the enemy of faith, right? And understanding that whenever we want to step out of faith, we need to know that we have to be ready, right? Anticipate the attack. And understanding that when you anticipate doesn't mean you expect the attack. You simply are ready in case you get attacked. You know how to respond, how to protect yourself. So that is where we are right now. We're about to now move into, okay, whenever we take that step, how do we stay rooted to the plans? Let me go ahead and bring our guests back onto the stage here. And look at that, LaShawn. I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you've been giving us. And look, now my phone wants to ring, right? Having a long day right now. All right. So I want to thank you, LaShawn. I want to thank you for everything you've shared so far. And it's been so deep and so mind opening, right? So now that we understand what we need to do, the guardrails and the things we need to put in place in order to take that step and do that thing that God has laid on our heart for years and years that we've been scared of doing. Now that we've done that, how do we stay on course? How do we make sure nothing derails us? Because as you just shared earlier, you give us a glimpse is not allowing certain things to get in your ear. How do you do it? What is your experience in protecting yourself and defending that that assignment God laid in your hand?
Yeah, that's a great question. First, it starts by, for me, remembering your why. If you remember the why you started, why you're doing it, why this thing is, important to you to fulfill, it always takes me back to my will. So my why reminds me and gives me the will to keep pushing and keep moving. So like for the HR plug, for example, my why is because I'm tired of seeing, people of color victimized in corporate America at the lower end of the pay bands, not
Mm-hmm.
knowing how to negotiate for an interview, not knowing how to advocate for themselves in an interview, not knowing the questions to ask in an interview, being subjected to toxic workplaces, and corporations getting rich off of the backs of the people who are actually doing the work and doing the jobs and not wanting to pay them fairly, not wanting to compensate them, not wanting to recognize them, and not wanting to value them. When I start remembering all of these whys, it moves me and it fuels me and gives me the will to keep going, because those are the things that are important to me to be a solution to fix and resolve. And while I know I probably can't touch every employee and I probably won't change every employer, it will get to a point when they hear the HR plug, they'll know I don't want to mess with her because she's gonna make me take care of these people. And that's all that matters to me. My reputation of what I stand for and who I am is what makes me keep moving. And that always goes back to me remembering the why I'm doing this and the why I started. So I challenge you, think about the why you want to do whatever you want to do that you're afraid to maybe even do. What's the why in it behind you? How important is that why for you? Because it's very important for me, for our society and our country to recognize the contributions we give to it, how it wouldn't be if it weren't for us, and how you're not going to just steal from me and use me and pay me pennies while you take $1 million stipends and stock and bonuses. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just so out of line. Our country is just backwards. And you talked about success, and that's part of the issue, is how we've defined success. It's based off of status. It's based off of wealth. It's based off of, who's the biggest and who's the best. And none of that equates to success.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't go into this, JP, thinking I'm only going to be successful if I can get every person paid what they're deserved. No, that's not what success looks like for me. So remembering my why and just reaching as many people as I can to stand on this platform and tell them how to share and advocate and be an activist for themselves. at work is my why. And telling leaders and organizations, you will fail miserably if you don't start recognizing the value of people. It's so funny because this great resignation thing that just kind of surfaced like within the last year, I've been
Right.
saying for the last 3 years. So that's how faith works. It might not have been me saying it, but if you go back to something I posted 3 years ago before the great resignation even let up, and you see, wow, she already knew this was going to happen, it gives me credibility. And that's what
Mm-hmm.
moving in faith will do. It plants those little seeds that sprout when you least expect it, because nobody wanted to listen, or nobody wanted to believe, or nobody thought about, Jeremy's virtual reality thing actually really being a thing until you go for a job interview and they send you a pair of headphones in the mail and they tell you to put this on for your job interview, and you're in a virtual reality interview.
Right.
Like, it's going to take that to happen for you to remember, dang, Jeremy was talking about that 6 months ago and I laughed at him, but
Mm-hmm.
he kept moving and he kept pushing because that was his calling. So you have to remember what your why is and why you're doing what you're doing, because that will reap your purpose. That will remind you of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Don't forget your why. Let that fuel you to keep moving and keep pushing. And then surround yourself with the right people so that you're not fighting your inner circle. It's already enough when you're walking in faith to have to fight the enemy and
Mm-hmm.
fight the
Mm-hmm.
naysayers and fight the people externally. You don't want
Mm-hmm.
to also have to fight the people internally. So if you find yourself having to convince people in your circle why what you're doing is the right thing, you need to change your circle. You don't need to extend that amount of energy on people who don't believe in you. Then they don't need to be in your circle. People were telling me with the Unplugged conference, oh, you don't need to do that. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody's going to come to that. And if I listen to that, I wouldn't be doing the Unplugged conference, but I'm holding on to faith that this is something that I need to do, because we don't recognize the importance and the capacity that HR professionals are experiencing. That's why our workplaces are messed up, because people are tired. So I got to stay on hold. I have to look at who I have in my inner circle, who's in my ear, who's talking to me. I have to remember my why. And then finally, JP, I have to strengthen my own foundations. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying that my purpose and I'm doing what I'm doing and walking in faith because I believe it's what God has assigned me to do or called me to do, then I need to make sure that my relationship with God is intact and that I'm communicating with him, that I'm reading his word, I'm understanding, so I'm hearing clearly, so I know how to move, so I don't get out of alignment. The foundation is going to be critical, because if you're told to move left and you're continually going right and you miss that instruction,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then you open yourself up for
Mm-hmm.
sabotage, for downfall. So
Right.
I can't say on one hand I'm walking in faith because this is what God told me to, and then I don't maintain a relationship with him to continue to hearing his instruction. So those three things is how you keep moving. You remember your why, you watch who you have in your circle, and most importantly, you maintain a strong foundation with the whole reason why you're doing what you're doing in the first place.
Wow. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm taking note. I've been taking a lot of notes, and I want to thank you so much for sharing all that with us. That is deep, right? The why is what we need to tap into that keep us going. And in another way, I will say that the why is actually our way of remembering that is bigger than us, right? It's not about us. And see, that's a lot of times whenever we're doing things and we realize, oh, I this, and I that, and we're forgetting completely that this is an assignment.
Yeah.
Yes, we will be blessed through it. Yes, we'll reap the things that we're sowing, the blessings and everything. But in reality, is bigger than us, is more than just us being blessed, is about other lives being transformed, is about other legacy being established, and people being able to embrace and look at your walk as a testimony and start doing. There's more to it than just us. And you're right, our circle is vital, because
Yes.
whoever is in our ear, if every day somebody's telling you will fail, and the person is telling you that in your ear every single day, you will believe that you're a failure. You will believe that you're about to fail. If you don't remove that person from your ear and you're always letting that person tell you you're going to fail, it will
You'll start
create a
believing.
doubt in your heart, even though you're not going to fail. right? You start
You
believing,
open the
oh man.
door. You open the
Mhm.
door for that to enter and disrupt your confidence.
Right, right. And thank you so much, LaShawn. I mean, just looked at the time and realized we've gotten to the end of our show. I wanted to keep going because this is so good. But I
Yes.
wanted you to go ahead and take a minute and talk to us a little more about the conference. As a matter of fact, for the folks that heard you mention it, the conference, what is it all about, right? How can people join and sign up? And after that, share with us how can people connect with you on social media and collaborate and want to work with you as well for the amazing things you're doing.
Sure. So the conference is Unplugged Conference. It's dedicated to people who work every day to take care of other people, whether those are employees, or contractors or whomever you're relying on or depending on to keep your business moving. And it's HR professionals who generally do this, or if you're an entrepreneur, then it's generally you who are doing this, but you're maintaining that relationship. It's time for you to unplug so that you can get refueled because a lot has happened in our society, a lot is happening in our government, a lot is happening in our culture, and people are tired. And it's so important that we maintain our stance and we revive and rejuvenate ourselves so that we can be who we need to be for other people. And that's what the Unplugged Conference is about. And so it's a 3-day hybrid conference, March 30th through April 1st. It's in Atlanta, and and it's for you to just come and connect with people who can help develop you and help give you the resources so that we can tackle this future of work that's happening and make sure that we're maintaining a culture in the workplace for the people that I mentioned earlier. I try to advocate for. This is my
Mm-hmm.
biggest move of faith in advocacy and making sure that the people who take care of the people are taken care of. And that's what the Unplugged Conference is about. And so if you're not an HR professional or you want to support in some way, definitely consider being a sponsor. Offer to purchase a ticket for an HR professional who maybe can't purchase their own ticket, or offer to support and stand as an ally in recognizing that our world of work, from what we know it today, needs help. It needs help. We are not where we need to be and what we do to take care of people. So that's what Unplug is about. It's just taking care of the people who take care of the people. And it's an event that's tied and geared to that. If you're looking to work with me,
Well, before
I
you
have,
say that,
oh,
before you
I'm
say
sorry.
that, let me interject. Yeah, before you say that, because I'm looking here, amazing stuff. And the website again, folks, is
Okay.
unplugconference.com. And I'm looking here, what to expect, right? A Q&A panel of leading industry experts ready to answer burning HR questions and publicly address industry trends and challenges. Breakout
Mhm.
sessions offering a safe space to share, network, and rebuild away from industry grief. Team
Mhm.
building exercises to establish lasting partners and relationship beyond the conference. General sessions focusing on being on HR impact with a holistic focus on wellness, boundaries, rest, and self-care. The future of HR versus the future of work. Selective sessions on the rise of unions versus positive employee relations. Interactive activities to practice the art of calm and emotional balance. Becoming a workplace wellness advocate through influence and by example. There's so much here that I just want to take a second and read it because it's fully packed,
Yes.
fully loaded. And I just had to read a little bit of this for folks that are listening to the podcast to know exactly all the things, and some of the things I should say that are on the menu. And I know, like they said, right, there's catered food and some
Yes.
drinkables there as well.
Yes. Yes. And JP, you have to invite me back because after this conference, I want to come back and tell you all the miracles that
Hmm.
manifest from walking and doing this assignment out of faith. That's one thing that you'll learn about faith. Miracles come and they flow. So I can't wait to tell you about them, what happens after this conference.
Definitely. We will be bringing you back now. I'm going to let you share with us how can we work with you? How can we connect with you on social media? What have you? Go for it.
So to work with me, my website is www.thehrplug.com. And on my website, there is an opportunity to connect with me there and book a free consultation. And we can talk through any workplace challenges you have. If you are a business leader, a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you want to just understand what's the best projected career journey for you or how to find fulfillment in what you do as a career, you can definitely book a free 30-minute consultation with me, and I will help you understand where you need to be based off of the gifts and the talents that you have and the best suited place for you. So again, that's www.thehrplug.com. And then you can also connect with me socially on all social media handles. I am at the HR Plug. So I am on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and you search the HR Plug, you will see me there. It's www.facebook.com, and this is actually / the Workplace Fixer. On Instagram, my handle is at the HR Plug. You can see I'm growing on there. Workplace problem solver, employee advocate, workplace activist, empowering employees, inspiring leaders. That is me. So make sure you connect with me on there. And on YouTube, I am just launched my YouTube community like 2 months ago. So you can catch all past podcast episodes and hear me interview people. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about how to escape a toxic work environment. So we talk about things that help empower people that might be actually encountering this in the workplace. So make sure you tune in and connect with me and subscribe to the YouTube channel at the HR Plug there. So
Fantastic.
I appreciate that.
Fantastic. Yeah. Hey, family, go ahead and subscribe to the HR Plug on YouTube. Follow the podcast as well. There's a podcast that I have subscribed to on my Apple Podcasts or whatever platform you're on. The podcast is there. Watch it, enjoy it, connect, and let's network together. Black leaders doing amazing things in excellence. LaShawn, I want to thank you so much for an amazing episode. Thank you for taking the time to share your story with us and giving us, solutions, actionable ways for us to step out in faith and keep winning regardless of adversity. Blessings to you. And yes, we will bring you back for part 2 so we can hear more about the blessings that the Lord has laid upon your life after everything that you have in the works currently. Please stay backstage as I close with everybody here. Family, this is it. This is it. And I'm very, very, very excited that you stuck around with us and listen to or watch this episode. And folks, I personally learned a lot of stuff, right? I've learned a lot from today's guest, LaShawn Davis. And if this was a blessing to you, well, consider, subscribing to this channel, YouTube channel. If you're listening, it's JP Hightek Reviews, JPHIGHTEK Hightek Reviews on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. Take the time to leave a review. Let us know if anything out of our conversation has been a blessing to you. We'll be more than happy to hear from you and, hear your feedback. And hopefully, this is inspiring somebody and is helping you in your walk, helping you win. And this is what this channel is all about, right? Providing you with the solutions and ways for you to be a winner and succeed in your business, your endeavors, and everything that you have going on for you, right? That is what this is all about. So I want to see you again tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow we have a filmmaker, Sean Woods, will be here with us tomorrow. And we're talking on how to build a solid clientele. That's crucial. If you own a business, if you own anything and you want to make money, well, you need to have clients, right? But not just a one-time clients. You want to have those clients that will swear by your businesses, your services, and will even self-promote, by showing all the amazing things you're doing and becoming, brand advocate, right? Free ambassadors of the things you're doing. Well, how do you get that, right? We're about to talk about that tomorrow here with Sean. So stick around and I'll see you tomorrow. Be safe, like I always say. Shalom. Bye-bye, family.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. This nation will rise up live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today.